solar power stations around the world would produce absolutely no electricity. Countries that depended heavily on solar energy would need to rely on other sources immediately. Fortunately, modern civilization does not depend on a single form of energy. Nuclear power plants would continue operating, hydroelectric dams would still generate electricity, wind turbines would continue spinning wherever strong winds remained, and geothermal power stations would keep producing energy from the heat deep inside the earth. Engineers would work around the clock to balance electrical grids, making sure hospitals, communication systems, water treatment facilities, and emergency shelters continued receiving power. Electricity would become one of humanity's most valuable resources, and conserving it would become everyone's responsibility. One of the biggest questions people would ask is whether plants could survive without sunlight for just one day. The answer is reassuring. Most plants would not die after only 24 hours of darkness. Just like humans store energy in the food we eat, plants also store energy that allows them to survive for a short period without photosynthesis. However, if the darkness continued for several days or weeks, those energy reserves would begin to run out. Leaves would slowly lose their healthy green color, growth would stop, and crops around the world would begin failing. Since every food chain on Earth ultimately depends on plants, this would mark the beginning of a much larger crisis. The disappearance of the sun would not only threaten human life but also every ecosystem that depends on it. Even as fear spread across the world, there would still be remarkable stories of courage and hope. Doctors would continue treating patients despite exhausting conditions. Firefighters, police officers, engineers, and emergency workers would work around the clock to protect their communities. Scientists from countries that were often political rivals would begin sharing information openly, knowing that survival would depend on global cooperation rather than competition. Neighbors would check on elderly residents, volunteers would distribute food and blankets, and families would gather together for comfort. Throughout history, humanity has faced wars, pandemics, earthquakes, and natural disasters, yet people have repeatedly shown an extraordinary ability to adapt and help one another. If the sun disappeared for one day, that same spirit of cooperation might become one of humanity's greatest strengths. If you've ever wondered about something strange about your mind, your body, or the world around you, subscribe to Zana, Beyond Curiosity.